Hello, I think I fixed my sound this time. So we're playing on a map, a Pigeons Paradise, I believe. We'll start up here. Embers going UEF, rank 2000. Hex 03 going Aeon, rank 1000. And 2014 going Cybran, rank 1900. So we got two pros and a Jove. And over here we have Potch at 1600 going Seraphim. We have, how am I going to pronounce this? A Cannabis going Cybran, rank 1200, and Silver Chronos going UEF, rank 1400. So there's no duplicates of any faction on any team. And it seems to be a little bit favoring the top team, seeing as they're two relatively high-level players. Granted, Hex is only a 1000, however, 1000s are generally still pretty competent. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I am a 1000 myself, but, you know, there's some wild cards. Sometimes you screw up. It happens. Anyway, so let's see. For Reclaim, we have this little rock pile here. Probably provides a few hundred each, a couple hundred each one. Otherwise, let's see, there's some more rocks on these cliff sides. In the middle, there's some more here as well. And otherwise, not that many trees to go off of, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of reclaim in the water here either, or any reclaim for that matter. Although these bodies of water will provide nice cover for commanders to go in and out of when they're in danger. So, if I can come up with a word here, it encourages ACU offensive. Seems like a pretty cool map. Looks more like something you'd have a 1v1 on, but yeah, you start off in these two positions over here, and you fight your way on these sides. Get to play king in the middle here, with this little spirit, Heed the King. It's gonna feel really special for what I imagine will be the next 15 seconds. Until these two ask him for lunch money. Hex 03 making a play for the center. See, his plan is to actually take the nexus, or no, he's just going after the reclaim. Meanwhile, a Cannabis going straight to the center, so is Potch. They may already have a plan lined up. As for early attack routes, got a couple Mantis up against a Striker. Numbers will win the day. Meanwhile, Silver Chronos is building up a forward base here, kind of the same way a wall section would work. Nothing's going to really get past this without feeling the wrath. Meanwhile, his mirror, Embers, already is going on a T2 factory. So that's where all his eco's going to go. Shit, sucks there's no, like, mexes here. I mean, yeah, sure, T2 artillery stations or T3 arty would be awesome to have placed here. But I feel like you could have a lot more strategic gameplay between players if you had, you know, one or two mexes on these sides. There's not even any reclaim to get either, so there's no real rush to go up there. You do is like drop a few Medusas or whatever artillery unit on the sides here, and you can just wail on your opponent from there. Say you get 2014 here, bringing up some, what is he, Cybran, bringing up some Medusas over here and just destroying these factories, or at least the one that actually got finished. Meanwhile, I imagine the spirit got destroyed. No longer the king of the hill. And Cannabis putting up a forward base over right in the middle of the map. Still have yet to go after the reclaim rocks here. And also going after these mexes. Meanwhile, Hex has 3 land factories in his base, got engineers going after, I imagine, going after a reclaim mission. There's not a lot of mexes here in general. It's going to be like your base and just upgrading your base mexes. Otherwise, you have it's really a struggle for the middle. It looks like Team 2 have won that struggle for now. Fortunately for you to get the 8 extra mass per second he'll be getting from these 4 mexes. Here's hoping he actually delivers on it. Otherwise, I don't know. I keep saying that word. Got Air Factory up for 2014. Any other factions going in the air game? Well, you got another Air Factory for Embers. So both the pro players are going in the air game already. Meanwhile, Only Land got a single Air Factory up for... can't remember anyone's name. The Cannabis. And a single Air Factory up for Silver Kronos. So not a huge commitment to the air game right now. I'm seeing a single interceptor chasing another interceptor. Why won't you love me? But otherwise, not much in the way of air-to-ground play. I think I saw a bomber earlier. Yeah, you had these engineers destroyed. Didn't really take much notice on that. No one's gone after the Hydro. It doesn't seem ideal to put a Hydro there, can you? Oh yeah, of course you can just go right up to it. I thought it was something like only airdrop to, it's like these cliffs over here. They're only now going after it. You would think you'd want like one over here, you know, one for each faction. Oh, there is one for each one, isn't there? No, this is just for the side player. There's already one that exists on the other ones. You got a Hydro here, you got a Hydro there. None over there. Nope. Hex did not bother with an adjacency program. And I guess 2014 just doesn't care. Or didn't notice, either one. So we got a little bit of the Cold War going on here between Silver Kronos and 2014, who seems to be backing off a bit, which might be a problem if Kronos, who seems to be bringing up his ACU, actually falls through on it, because even though he's only on 8,000, that's still enough to take down all these units, especially if you bring in a few units of your own as backup, distract your enemy's units from attacking your commander directly. And Hex making a play. Speed things up to plus... I'll go +2. I don't know why I haven't done that earlier. So now Hex playing the massive T1 land game, preventing construction of a fire base down here. Looks like the one that was being built up here didn't last very long either. So Canvas has to reconsider his priorities. Embers, who... is he fighting this time? Oh, Embers. That's this guy. Brought his comm all the way up to the base. That might be a problem. I'm not sure he's going to make it out of this one. Does he have overcharge? Yeah, but he doesn't... it's not going up particularly fast. Now all these units are converging on him. He's going to either get in the water or die in the process. Oh, he's not making it out of this one. This gets the better team. And there he goes. Why did you do that? Blame your allies. Number 1 rule. So now they're down a player. This ought to shake things up. Seemed pretty stacked earlier. You got a couple of factories over here. If Hex can capitalize on that, well, we'll see what he can do. Meanwhile, he brings in his attack force to take out some of Potch's production, while Cannabis decides to help out and just destroy it all with his comm. And take a bit of a beating in the process. Potch coming back with his own ACU to help defend and reconstruct a couple of his factories and the rest of his base. That's a decent amount of reclaim. So he's probably going to get back up there pretty fast. In the meantime, 2014 here. Oh wow, they really took a bite out of each other while I wasn't looking. And it really does not look good for them. I mean, look at his perspective on things. I mean, there's no PD here. There's a bunch of units, no radar. Ugh. Does not look good for him. On top of that, he's only on 2,000 hit points. These units are just going to come over here and kill him. Maybe kill Cronus in the process. I think that's what he's going for, is the draw. And he's not going to get it. Hex is going to display his disgust and bring in his T2 gunship and see if he can't finish him off. I'm not sure what he's thinking right now. Let's see if we can... Oh, he's gonna kill off the Cronus. Well done. Might bring him back into this game. All those units destroyed. No longer a real threat to his base. He can just focus on reclaiming and taking all 3 ecos and maybe actually spamming the hell out of his opponent. Or maybe Pachin Cannabis will actually thwart him in the process. How are they doing as far as eco's concerned? Hex, ecoing pretty hard. He's going on T2 mechs over here. He's got T2 air over here. Otherwise, is he ecoing all that much elsewhere? Not particularly. He's got plenty of energy. Meanwhile, Cannabis sitting at plus 19 minus whatever. Was 35 now, 15. There's only so much he can do with a very minuscule ecos like that. And Potch, who is sitting at plus 34, which is not much below Hex. Now, what they need to do is get some anti-air up, and they're doing a fine job with it now, but is it too late? No, it's nowhere near too late. It's got Swift Winds up, advantage of Aeon, but right now he's investing heavily into the air game and trying to fortify his position. Cannabis is going hard at work on reclaiming his dead ally's base. Although there seems to be just an open opportunity right here. Take away these engineers, get the reclaim out of the way, and deny his opponent. And I guess that's kind of what he's doing, but this factory's already up. And the engineers are just doing nothing. Okay. What a shame. Well, got some obsidian, some flax, some artillery. This is a force to be reckoned with. If only he had the energy to support said eco. Now, is he going on an upgrade on his comm? Yes, he is. He is going on RAS. I believe. Yes, RAS. He can do that. He won't have to worry about energy or mass for some time. Unfortunately, he's worrying about both of them right now. He just has no eco to support that current upgrade. At least nowhere near the speed he'd like to be. But it is going relatively fast. I mean, that's done now. You won't have any energy problems for a long period of time. You can even reclaim some of these T1 Pigeons, get some mass out of it, if he thinks to do so. Got plenty of power here as well. So he's got a pretty advantageous spot. Doing pretty well for a 1,000 player. Especially against opponents with higher ranking. However, I don't know if these gunships placement was a very good idea. I imagine that Cannabis and Potch were both going to go very heavily into the anti-air phase, or anti-air game. Seeing as Hex focused on gunships more than not. Yeah, you got a bunch of T2AA everywhere. You got like some obsidian tanks. Hex as well. Maybe making a play against the commander was not very smart, but you can just like try and draw these units out, but for that I guess. Now, of course, Podge has access to all this reclaim as well from all the obsidian wrecks, which is a decent amount, I believe. Can't remember if it's half or not. You get half the mass back, and there's a 360 mass apiece. don't see any clear victor right now. I think it's going to come down to whether or not Hex can make some quick decisions. Because I think the longer this game is oh wait, never mind. I was going to say the longer it's dragged out, the better it'll look for the more pro players. But these, I mean, Hex's eco is just insane right now. More than double both of, or not, more than double them individually, and more than them combined. But if you can use it properly is the question. Like here comes Potch doing a PD creep on what looks like a bunch of T1, T2 units. You gotta find a way to counter that before it becomes a problem. Strats. Jeez. Really heavy into this air game. See if you can get another pass. And then he gets one. And then he gets that unit back. Maybe you can bring the engineers and reclaim it. Get, what was it, I think 2160, so about 1,000 mass back. Yeah, that's pretty ideal. Meanwhile, Potch and Cannabis. Okay, Potch is happy to stay in the heavy T1 air-to-air bays. Meanwhile, Cannabis is going to try and match Hex in the ASF T3 air. I gotta stop doing this at 4 in the morning. Anyway. So, Hex happy building some ASFs to counter what's left of these guys, but it's such a horrible move order. Just gonna have them flying over the flak? What? To each their own, I guess. This is gonna hurt. A single author is gonna wreak hell upon this base. It's gonna lose, what? 24 mexes? Or, mexes? 24 mass per second if it just lets it stay there. How incredibly hurtful and painful. Oh, and that's a Cannabis' unit as well, so that's not helping him at all. Hex is in kind of a rough spot right now. You got this fire base, which doesn't seem to be doing too hot. You got your main base, which, it's doing alright. Got a little bit of PD in there, but that's still an Otham you're dealing with. At least one. Does he have anything else? He's got another Otham here. Get some sniper bots and pick him off from a distance. He doesn't have that much ground units. It is Seraphims with the sniper bots, right? Yeah, it is. But right now he's going with the shield generators. I don't remember seeing T3 shield generators on Seraphim. I don't play it much. Ever. Isn't that something? Anyway. So Hex, trying to build T1 PD with walls around it. I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, everything you're building right now is T3 land units, or T2 land units, things that won't be affected too much by the sight of T1 PD. Maybe the flackers. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Just reclaim this field, make a yo and a os. Do something. That's how the economy works, right? Stores. They have to be powerful, though. This is a bunch of flak. Why would you do that? You gotta scout your opponent. You did. You should know not to bring the flak out there. And Cannabis upgrading his comm. I wonder if that's Mazer. No, it's probably just T2. Or a gun or something. I don't know. Here we have even more T1 or T2, or just T1 anti-air. Oh, those stores will take care of that, no problem. Maybe they're kind of weak right now, especially this one. Meanwhile, Poch is the one with the initiative. Yeah, maybe Hex had the eco, but if he was able to capitalize on it, maybe it could have gone differently. I mean, this is just no longer necessary. You're throwing away a bunch of mass on this. And that, and it's like trying to secure your borders. You can ignore your borders for the most part. The problem is you spread too thin. Like, here's Potch with a transport of engineers just waiting to reclaim this if he had remembered to send the order out. But he's not really concerned about, protecting this side too much. Just just a case of a little bit too much turtling. Not enough microing. See, look, that just went down. And what was originally going to be a useful mass grab just turned into a complete waste. But I don't know if he even cares about that at this point, because I'm going to say this is probably over. Unless you can find a way to just strat everything and use AA gunships on everything, there's not much else you can do. Not much else Hex is going to be able to do left to fight back. Cannabis already has ASFs and strats of his own. There's just he's not. Ugh. Cannabis' eco is on par with Hex. Never mind what Posh is doing. I think he had a chance. He really had a good chance to pull through with this one. He just wasn't able to do it. I mean, kudos to him for getting the kill on, was it Silver Kronos earlier with the gunships? But I think it's a bit too late to pull anything out of this now. Just turtling too much. It's kind of like you had to go all out offensive instead of, trying to fortify yourself. Yeah, you had a lot of ground to cover. I can understand that with both your teammates getting themselves killed. Ember taking this crazy ass play to the side without supporting himself with any units of his own. Maybe Hex could have tried bringing in his units there, maybe saved him. But that's all foresight, hindsight, whatever you want to call it. Not much could have been changed after a certain point in time. And 2014 just had a bad game, it looked like. It seemed that Silver Coronas just bested in 1v1. Didn't really seem like any of these four had much to do with their game until 2014 died and Hex took it to his own to retaliate. Yeah, but this game's over. I mean, Hex, you beautiful bastard. Of course you would try and get the GC up. Last ditch effort. And one hell of a last ditch effort at that. Unfortunately, there's just nothing left.